Well, this came as a surprise. Literally didn't see this one coming. I would never have bet money on this one. I'm not being facetious or sarcastic here. I would be like, really? They're saying no? Why? They don't really give a reason, but they're not doing it. Well, they kind of give reasons. All right, so they announced over the last 48 hours that they will not be revisiting Baldur's Gate in any way, shape, or form. Hold on. You don't want to look at that. There we go. It's better. Okay. So, yeah, hey, we're not doing it anymore. I know it seems obvious that we would make a Baldur's Gate 3.5 and even a Baldur's Gate 4 as long as we can, but we're not going to. It's got a very special place in our heart, but it's time for us to move on. And why is it wanting to move on? Well, they're saying, yeah, we finished it and we saw doors. We knew that there had to be at least a DLC. So we're doing the DLC. But after that, we're not doing anything more with Baldur's Gate. We're done with Baldur's Gate. It's not to say somebody else won't pick up the Baldur's Gate torch and run with it, but it won't be us. We're going to do something else that's completely different, and it's going to blow your socks off. And one of the reasons they list for why they're not doing it is because it was so hard and 5e was so counterintuitive. They said that, not my words, their words. 5e was so counterintuitive that it was so hard to, get the mechanics to work in the sense of a computer game. They want to grow their output. They don't want to be stuck with things they've already done. Let's see if there's anything else. They're cutting their ties with Baldur's Gate, with Wizards. They're saying because of all the success, the obvious thing would have been done to a DLC. So we started on one. We even started thinking about BG4, but we really hadn't had closure with BG3 yet. I mean, it's only 6 years of our life. So to just jump forward on something new felt wrong. Plus, we just spent the last 6 years converting it to a game, and we wanted to do new things. Here's my favorite. There are a lot of constraints on making D&D, and 5th edition is not an easy system to put into a video game. We had all these ideas that we wanted to try out that weren't compatible. We've got our own stuff we want to work on. They're saying it's not Divinity. It's our own universe. So we'll finish this Baldur's Gate 3 and take a break. And then we're moving on. And that's about it. Just, hey, we're not doing Baldur's Gate 3 anymore. After we finish this DLC, there won't be any more DLC. There won't be any expansions. Sure, there'll be bug fixes and, soft fixes and stuff like that, but no new content. And definitely no new BG4, at least not from us. Maybe somebody else will do it, but not from us. And 6 years of their lives, and maybe they wanted working underneath the Hasbro microscope. Obviously, let's take a break and then let's work on something that's just fun, that we can just go crazy and do what we want and push the technology as far as we can now that we've made our bucks. Because it was 6 freaking years. So we don't have to add any sinister conspiracy to this or something Hasbro, something Empire, something evil. It's simply them saying, hey, we've gone as far as we can go with this. We want to do something else. And the system really isn't conducive to video games. And that's fine. That's perfectly in their rights to not continue their association with Wizards of the Coast. Of course, they're not saying that. They're just saying they're going to do Baldur's Gate. They could do something else, Wizards of the Coast related, but just for now, that's it. No more Baldur's Gate. So that should be fine, right? I mean, that's okay. There's probably nothing sinister or Machiavellian. On the other hand, we are talking about Hasbro. We are talking about a company who has not given them any credit for Baldur's Gate 3. who's doing all this merchandise off Baldur's Gate 3 without really, sharing with them. And I don't know, maybe the bear sex thing is a sticking point. I can't, with Hasbro insisting you had to have the fucking bear sex scene, and maybe they're like, dude, why? This isn't a leisure shoot, Larry. This isn't a porn game. Why should I put in the bear sex scene? 'Cause yeah, it's exactly what they're saying. So maybe they didn't want to sign the new contract. Maybe they wanted more control on IP they had total control of. It's going to be very hard for them to merchandise Baldur's Gate because Hasbro is in charge of that. Hasbro decides whether there'll be Baldur's Gate 3 action figures or not. But if they had their own IP like they've done in the past, then they could make their own action figures, and that's 100% theirs. So, and maybe going forward is just, they see that Hasbro is not the best company to hitch your wagon to at this point in time. They had a reputation before BG3. They've got the BG3 money. They can go forward and go crazy and make an amazing video game. They can return to their other licenses like Divinity. They can make small little app games. They just don't want to do Baldur's Gate 3 because it's exhausting. It's a lot of work. It's 600 people. It took 600 people to make Baldur's Gate 3 over 6 years with very little acknowledgement from Hasbro. So, yeah, we could hang the, it's always, whenever this topic comes up, it's always, well, if it was any other company, there'd be no second guessing, right? I mean, even if the company is horribly insidious, most of them we don't know about. It's not saying there's not other stupid companies out there. They're just not other companies that go out of their way to make you know how stupid they are. Most of them like to keep the stupidity under the rug, so to speak. Oh, yeah, sure, we're evil, but we're not going to let you know but we're dealing with Hasbro. Right? We're dealing with wizards, right? So as much as I want to say there's probably nothing innocuously evil or Machiavellian or corrupt behind this, it's simply a best business choice. Except it's Hasbro. It's wizards. So somewhere in there, some part of my brain is going, okay, what did they do? They must have done something because it's wizards, and we know they're stupid. We know they're self-destructive. We know they will make the worst possible decision they can because they consistently do. Was it the bear sex, right? Did they force you to put in the bear sex scene? Because I don't see anybody demanding that. I don't care what anybody says. I really don't think that there was a massive amount of people who said, what this fucking game really needs? A scene where a guy fucks a bear. That'll just take it over the top. But it's not a porn game. It's not a hentai game. No. It's just a scene where a guy fucks a bear, and another scene where a guy fucks a squid. And there's a lot of fucking in this game, but it's not a porn game. It's not a hentai game. Was it that? Was it just the fact that Hasbro's not giving you any credit for it? Oh, we made Baldur's Gate. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. It's probably nothing sinister behind it, but because it's wizards. Anyways, that's it for the news today. I've got a headache. I'm done. I'm going to go eat lunch. I've done enough yelling today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Buy my merch.